Hello everyone. Thanks, welcome, and thanks for joining today's webinar, Applying Agentic AI in SAP and Oracle Testing, Real Enterprise Use Cases. So before we begin, here are a few quick housekeeping notes. This session is being recorded and the recording will be shared post-webinar to all the attendees and the absentees as well. To ensure a smooth experience, all attendee microphones and cameras are turned off. We will be launching few live polls during the session, so we encourage you to participate actively. If you have any questions, please submit them using the Q&A panel and we will address them during the Q&A session at the end. Now, today's session will explore how enterprises are applying Agentic AI to accelerate SAP and Oracle testing, reduce testing effort, and improve release confidence through real-world use cases. Now, let's get started. Our today's speaker is Murugan Venkatesan, and he's Director of Oracle and SAP Practice with ImpactQA. Over to you, Venkatesh. Stage is all yours.
So hello everyone, thanks for registering and welcome to my webinar. So just a quick intro from myself. So I'm Venkateshan Murugesan. So having almost 23 plus years of experience in testing, in which almost 20 plus years of experience fully into automation. So most of my career is fully into Center of Excellence. So I got a privilege to work on various tools. And so that's how I leveraged all the tools like SAP TAV, CBTA, and triage and test works of certifies. I worked with Oracle, I worked with SAP automations, I worked with web-based testings, and so various legacy applications as well. So coming to my experiences, I have explored almost all kind of technologies and tools with relevant to SAP and Oracle automation. Okay, so happy to be part of this. I'm the Director of Engineering here, taking care of SAP and Oracle practice set. Just give me a second. Continuing with that, I'm a Director of Engineering with ImpactQA, and so here I'm taking care of the entire Oracle and SAP practices. So I deal with various clients, complex deliveries, takes training, almost everything. Okay, don't want to take much time into that. So happy to be part of this webinar. So we are getting into the webinar, so applying Agentic AI in SAP and Oracle testing. And I'm going to explain some couple of the real enterprise use cases based on my experiences with SAP and Oracle. So before I get into the webinar, I would like to ask some few questions like, why do we need Agentic AI? And hope you would have seen all the evolutions of testing and the AI evolutions as well. Okay, so that's what I'm going to explain as part of the first agenda. So before I get into AI, I would like to talk about the evolutions of testing. So 20 years back, I was working with manual testing. Then came the automation testing, which is nothing but record and playback. And we have to write lots and lots of scripts and codes. We have to develop data-driven frameworks, keyword-driven frameworks. And we worked on QDB, UFT, Windrunner, old generation tools. Okay, so one should know VB scripting. And it was a very hard time to pull in people with those kind of experiences with VB scripting, programming knowledge, and we need lots and lots of time to generate a particular framework which we need to automate. Either you follow data-driven or keyword-driven. That framework needs some time, say 6 months or 10 months for completing a project. So then comes the business process testing. Whatever we are writing as code that has been converted into components or libraries. So the objects are getting recognized easily through those components in terms of physical properties or logical properties. So then comes the risk-based testing, wherein the scriptless automation tools played a major role. Tools like triage and test works of certified, and there are various tools. and we started using without writing programs, without using frameworks. So it relies on their own framework, which come up with their own components or libraries, which in by default they built in with their own tools. If you install the tool, all those tools will be having those libraries. Since it's a scriptless automation, you have to just drag and drop, and you can easily build your automation. So whatever we were doing 6 months back, it has been done within days and months. Okay, so based on the volume of test cases. So how would you factorize a volume of or considering the factors which are relevant for calculating their efforts and estimations? So based on the complexity. So that's how the scriptless automation tools helped us in building those automations. And next comes the RPA, robotic process automation. And with the RPA, whatever the tools we have, it comes as a readily available add-in or plugin. Directly, we can do robotic process automations, and it can control automatic workflows. And so we are in the current generation, so which is nothing but AI generation. So it identifies patterns, makes predictions, and supports decision making. Okay, so we shifted from automation, doing the automation of workflows to generating the patterns and make the predictions and supports decision making. And so Gen AI, we slightly evolved again into Gen AI. So AI can generate text, codes, images, audio, and more. What not? It can do anything which can be do its own predictions, and it supports the logical reasoning and decision making. So slightly we moved ahead into agents. We started creating agents which can use those tools which we leverage, and it will envisage the information we are on a daily basis which we interact with applications. Okay, so that's how we started building AI agents, and then we slightly evolved again into agentic AI. So this is the current generation where everything becomes easy within days and seconds or minutes, whatever you can say. Okay, so with the agentic AI, the agentic systems can do the logical reasoning. We can plan the adopting, and we can execute multiple actions to achieve a goal. So these are all the evolutions of testing and the evolutions of AI, I would say. Okay, when I say evolutions, so we are the 80s generations. We are fortunate enough to understand all these evolutions of testing and evolutions of AI. So we gone through all the experiences. So what it was to what it is has been a tremendous journey for me, wherein I have leveraged all kinds of automation, and I have pursued my MTech in data science engineering with bits planning as well. So that's how I'm going to explain and share my experiences a little bit on this. Okay. Yeah. So before I get into the architecture, I would like to ask very few questions. So how it would be like, so what if your enterprise systems could do more than just automate workflows? What if they could understand context, make decisions, collaborate across departments, and execute business processes with minimal human intervention? Okay, so this is exactly what agentic AI brings into modern enterprises. So why I am taking the examples of enterprises, that too specifically on SAP and Oracle, because it is most across used by various clients, and all these domains needed this SAP and Oracle enterprises only. And yeah, so how it can be, so there are end-to-end business processes which are framed with different modules. For example, if you consider SAP, it's a ocean. So we have SD, PP, MM, PICO, HR, FMS, and warehouse management, EWM. There are so many modules, and one should know, if you want to know a particular module, you should leverage or experience on a project with some real-time experiences, then only you can come across the end-to-end business process flow with some domain experiences where you could have worked in the multiple industries or companies. Suppose if you want to experience the procure to pay process, if at all you would have experienced that in an industry, it would be easy for you rather than going on a direct project experiences and realizing how the software works. So unlike traditional AI, which primarily provides predictions or recommendations, Agentic AI is full of intelligent software agents that can perceive the information, and it can do the reasoning about it. It can take actions. It will learn from the outcomes, and it will coordinate with other agents to achieve the business objectives. So that's what I have explained here. Let's see how this applies to three major enterprises functions. In the upcoming slides, I have given some examples for SAP and Oracle. And before I explain in simple terms and terminologies and topologies, what is agentic AI? So agentic AI are nothing but autonomous agents, and it will trigger the goal-based driven executions, and it can use tools or APIs, and it can do multi-level of logical reasonings. So if a user is there, and he can interact with the API layer, and he can trigger the planner agent. It will go on with multiple sets of research agent, and it can call the tools. It can access the memory. It can define and derive the executor agents. So that will come up with the reviewer agent, and the final output we can achieve it through this. How we will do this? Through software testing lifecycle. So code test, can build, and so we can do Docker, Kubernetes, and productions as well with respect to continuous integration and continuous developments. So that's how we can achieve it. Okay. So this might be you will be experiencing if you are particularly working on an agentic AI project when you are creating agents or leveraging tools to envisage the output, whichever you are looking out for. Okay. Yeah. So in short, so I can say this is the workflow diagram for agentic AI. So the user input will be given, and the agents will be planning that whatever the inputs has been given, and that will be triggering the actions through tool or API. And that's how all these SAP or Oracle programs are getting executed with proper responses and audited through knowledge performance indicators. Okay, so we have defined metrics to calculate each and every action, whatever we are doing. So this is how the workflow triggers. Okay. So these are all the main agentic AI key features which I would say. Okay. So what it does, it will do multi-agent collaboration. We can do monitoring and we can observe it. And yeah, so we can do multiple tool integration. So when I say multiple tool integrations, you have your own agentic AI and you want to integrate with another agentic AI. Say, for example, you have created your own agentic AI methodologies, and if your client is coming with his own agentic AI methodology, you can integrate both of this agentic AI together through MCP, Model Context Protocol architecture. Okay, so with this integration is quite possible. So that's how we can utilize the tool and API for interaction, and so we can access the memory and retrieval through that. And we can implement the continuous integration and continuous development for automation. So whatever you are doing in test management or defect management with various tools, it can be leveraged or enabled through this CI/CD for automation. So previously we used to integrate all these tools. We need to define multiple steps for enabling that, but with the agentic AI, the entire process it will make you easier to enable it and derive the achievable outputs. Okay, so we can do the scalable deployment easily. Okay, yeah, so before I get into the use cases, so I hope most of you been worked with SAP and Oracle based ERPs, whether with respect to automations or with respect to creating your own Gen AI or Vision AI or whatever the AI you are working on. But especially when it comes to Agentic AI, we have identified certain business processes where exactly we can implement this Agentic AI. So that's how I have took this procure to pay, which is part of this and so we can do automatic pre-work creations, and we can do vendor optimization, we can do invoice matching, and we can do the exception handling as well. So this and all you can achieve through automation easily. But how does agentic AI will differentiate the process? How it can be act as a differentiator? So that's what I'm going to explain. So we have the process groups and business process defined. So whoever has been worked on SAP use cases procure to pay, you might have experiences this PR creation, PO creation, Migo, Miro, everything, creating invoices or doing goods receipt. But when it comes to level 2 and level 3 processes, one should know how the end-to-end business processes are working and how we can apply where exactly we can apply those agentic AI. Okay, so I would like to explain a bit more in detail. So how procure to pay agentic AI can be implemented. Okay, so this procurement is no longer just about creating purchase orders, right? It is all about making intelligent decisions where exactly we can reduce the cost and ensure compliances. Okay, so for example, imagine a manufacturing company running low on raw materials. Okay, instead of waiting for a planner to identify the shortage, we can create an AI agent. It can continuously monitor stock levels, and it can schedule the production, and it can inform the supplier about the lead times, and it can create demand forecast. Okay, whenever the inventory falls below the threshold, the agent will automatically create a purchase requisition. So it will definitely ease our process. And next, a sourcing AI agent evaluates approved vendors based on pricing or its performances or its quality ratings, so that we can achieve the goal and by going through the previous purchase request, histories as well. So it recommends or automatically selects the best supplier. Okay. So these kind of logical things, AI agents, wherever we wanted to implement, it can communicate with the suppliers through digital channels, or it can do comparison of various quotations. It can negotiate the pricing within predefined business rules, and it will give you a most cost-effective options, because it will go in through various sources and it will compare, and it will give our achievable outputs. Okay. So that's how purchase order is generated automatically. And after the goods are delivered, you can create a receiving agent where it can validate the shipment details using IoT devices or warehouse data. And this invoice validation agent performs a three-way match by comparing the purchase order, goods received, and the vendor invoice as well. So if everything matches, a payment agent can schedule a payment based on available cash flow and vendor discount opportunities. So instead of people manually coordinating every step, multiple AI agents can collaborate autonomously while keeping humans informed only when exception arise. So we cannot believe 100% on agentic AI. So we need certain human interactions and human interventions as well. So that's how the business benefits include reduced procurement cycle time, lower purchasing cost, and improved compliance, and it will give us stronger supplier relationships as well. Okay, so this is kind of more when it comes to SAP use cases, that too especially on procure to pay, where exactly we can implement the agentic AIs, especially on procure to pay. Okay, so moving on to the next use case, I have taken different modules. So one is of and another one is FICO, finance. Okay, finance is the most important and uh, I would say, regularly used module across industries. Okay. So we can leverage on journal automation, anomaly detection, and we can close it fasterly, and we can do the audit trial based on the financial structure and plans. Okay. And we can do customized reporting, and we can take support decisions and compliance issues with respect to tax or accounting or profitability analysis. And we can do the general ledger or accounts payables or accounts receivables through transaction settlements. Okay, so that's how in SAP Finance we can do. Say, I would like to give a small example over here as well. So consider a month-end financial closing. Okay, instead of financial analyst manually collecting data from multiple systems, if we create a financial close agent, it will gather all the transactional data across SAP modules, and it will validate the balances, and it identifies all the missing entries, right? And it can prepare a financial statement, draft financial statement, which can be validated and approved. So there you need a manual intervention. And this anomaly detection agents can continuously monitor all these journal entries, and it will identify the unusual transactions that may indicate fraud or accounting errors. So these areas will be really helpful before we get into cash flow. Okay, so for cash flow also we can do an agentic AI with forecast incoming and outgoing payments using historical trends, and we can recommend the optimal payment schedule. So we cannot blindly whatever the output we are getting it, we cannot directly implement that, because accounts payable or accounts receivable, if you want to create an agent, it need to prioritize the invoice eligible for early payment discounts, and while ensuring the sufficient working capital as well. And in accounts receivable, it can monitor overdue invoices, send personalized reminders, and it can access customer payment behavior and recommend collection strategies as well. Okay, so rather than replacing financial professionals, agentic AI enables them to focus on strategic analysis instead of doing the repetitive operational works. Okay, so that's how we can implement agentic AI in finance. Okay. I understand that some of you, if you have not worked on SAP or Oracle, it would be really tough to understand. But when it comes to the project experience, you can understand this all accordingly based on your experiences. Whoever has been working on SAP finance or MM modules, they'll be able to understand where exactly we can implement this agentic AI. Okay. So let me move on to a couple of use cases in Oracle as well. Yeah. So Oracle use cases, HR, as I told, it will on a daily basis, or as part of the people and culture, we will do recruitment, employee assistant, onboarding automation, policy validation. What are the talent insights we have? All these are a daily basis for HR or HCM or people and culture, especially. So SAP and Oracle are two different RPS. So even though the processes are same, you have all the modules, whatever present in SAP, in Oracle as well. But when it comes to the navigation or the workflow, it is entirely different. And those who worked on SAP and Oracle, so you will be get to know how it works and what kind of UI it is having. Initially, we have been dealing with GUI. Now it is on Fiori with SAP. But Oracle, it has its own automation tools. And if you wanted to automate the workflow, it is not that much easy when it compares to SAP. So all these processes needs a lot of assistant and automation experience when you are leveraging with respect to Oracle automation. So if you want to automate employee interaction or onboarding automation or policy validations, the entire task needs to be understand first. First, you need to manually understand. Then only you can leverage where exactly you can apply this agentic AI. For example, here, if you see what are the repetitive tasks, you will be doing this onboarding on a regular basis. So here you can apply Agentic AI, where it can automate onboarding workflows, the documents, access, and forms. So it will be giving you a detailed idea, because you don't need a manual resources who can do the manual repetitive task again over here. So there we can implement this Agentic AI. And when it comes to identify the employee data or analyze it with respect to performance skills, you want to create a skill matrix. You want to know how many resources are having automation experiences or agentic AI experiences or Gen AI experiences, and those who have created AI agents. If you want to see those kind of resources, you can employ the agentic AI in identifying this talent insights exactly. Okay, so that it will provide you the responses, and it can automate the entire workflow with the employing that agentic AI over here. Okay, so this is quite easy when it comes to listening, but on top of that, if you want to create an agent and if you want to imply that on an end-to-end business process, yeah, I agree. It's not that easy. So one needs to understand how agentic AI works and how we can implement on top of that as well. Okay. Yeah. So moving on to this Oracle use cases, CX, customer experience. So this is one of the regular and most important work when it comes to customer experiences in Oracle modules. So this why I have been identifying this module is because the customer expectations are higher than ever, always, huh? And the customer expect personalized experiences, immediate responses, and proactive services, right? See, for example, imagine a customer visiting an automotive company website. Okay? A customer engagement agent understands browsing behavior and recommends vehicle based on preferences with respect to budget and the previous historical trends and interactions. And so there you can put an customer engagement agent, and you can employ agentic AI over there. And if the customer requests a quotation, the sales agent needs to prepare a personalized offer using pricing rules and historical discounts. So there you can create a sales agentic AI. Okay. So when the customer confirms the order, the sales agent collaborates with the ERP to initiate production and inventory checks. So throughout manufacturing and delivery, a customer communication agent is needed who can provide proactive updates without requiring the manual interventions. So these areas, instead of using a sales or service agent who can monitor those warranty information or the connected vehicle diagnostics, we can utilize agent, creating agentic AI over there. Okay, so I can assure you that the result is going to be a seamless, proactive, and highly personalized, customized experience in terms of agentic AI. Because if you train the model and if you make it understand what is your expectations and how you wanted to achieve it through proper responses, this can be achieved it easily. Okay. Uh, so this is one of the best use case for employing agentic AI. So we have seen couple of examples in SAP and Oracle. Okay, so I would conclude agentic AI is the next evolution of enterprise and transformation, because it shifts organization from workflow automation to intelligent autonomy. Okay, whether it is SAP or Oracle, increasingly it has been adopted by so many clients, right? And this is where we can exactly include all our experiences in creating agents or doing the workflow automation or interacting with the agents. So it's all about networks of intelligent agents working together to achieve the business goals. Okay, so I think I have spoken a lot. So this is what I have just arrived upon with the business impact and challenges based on my experiences. efficiency gains, error reduction, faster decisions, better UX. We can obviously save 30 to 60% of effort based on the requirements and feasibility analysis you will do. Yeah, obviously we cannot blindly believe on the AIs. We have challenges like security, the data security, and we have integration challenges. If you want to integrate your one AI with the other AI, you need MCP protocol, model context protocol server. That architecture, it is you need to host that agent, you need to train the model, and you need to understand whether both the agent can be interacted. So all these data validations and integration needs to be checked. And whenever we are providing some data, security is most important thing. There's some most of the clients, they do not want to expose their data, and it needs to be under compliances, and some agreements needs to be there in terms of security. And yeah, obviously there are change management and hallucination issues as well. So this can be overcome by proper planning and execution. That's what I should believe. Okay. Yeah, Puja. So I'm almost done with my viewpoints. So if we have any questions, we are happy to answer it offline or online. Yeah, over to you. Thank you.
Definitely a presentation, and thanks Venkat for all the insights that you have shared through this session. Now we will move on to the Q&A session, and definitely we have few queries in our Q&A sections. Let's take them up one by one. So for very first question is, many organizations have already invested heavily in test automation. How does agentic AI complement existing automation frameworks rather than replacing them? And what kind of ROI have you seen in real enterprise deployments?
Okay, so let me go through the questions. Many organizations have already invested. Okay. Yeah, see, agentic AI doesn't replace existing test automation frameworks. It makes them smarter and more resilient and less costly to maintain. So in real enterprise deployments, the return on investment can be achieved within 5 to 9 months, as little as it planned. Okay, so but with the annualized savings ranging from hundreds of thousands to over $2 million, depending upon the scale or issue. Okay, so we need to think on so many things. We need to work with the current frameworks, and we need to see how agentic AI layers intelligence can handle it on top of it, so that the regression, prioritization, or defect triage and impact analysis uh, can be planned, and we can plan the regression cycles accordingly. Okay, so obviously it will reduce the maintenance overhead, and it will improve the test coverages, and it accelerate release cycles as well. So when I say impact analysis, so if you want to plan properly, um, say plan a regression cycle, you need to say in SAP, if you are going for upgrade or rollout or enhancement, you need to plan it properly. Okay, so for that you need to um, instead of doing the manual processes, you can clearly identify how the objects are getting impacted and how we can save time in identifying those objects. So initially there was a tool called CPTA. Okay, in that we have BPCA, business process change analysis, which can do the analysis with respect to impacted objects whenever it goes for upgrade or rollout or enhancements. So it can compare, say for example, if a single object called material has been changed to materials, yes, has been joined at the end, and it is going to impact wherever that object has been recorded or automated. So if you want to do that doing manually, going each and every test case, it is going to be a tedious task. Whereas this BPCA, it does. Within a single click, it will repair. So for example, if it is getting impacted across 29 end-to-end scenarios where some, say, 100 test cases are impacted, it will obviously repair on its own with a single click. And that has been in recent terms, Live Compare is doing the same kind of job, okay, with trace and trace. So we have so many tools. We have and which can be doable with Live Compare, which can be do the impact analysis, so that we can plan the regression cycles properly. So hope that answers your question.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. It must have answered quite successfully.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
next is for regulated industries like banking, healthcare, or manufacturing. How do you ensure governance, auditability, and human oversight when AI agents are making testing decisions?
In regulated industries like banking and healthcare, or manufacturing industries, the governance and oversight are not optional; they are mandatory. And the Agentic AI is designed to augment all the existing compliance framework. If you are going for a pharmaceutical industry, they have their own compliances, and we need to consider that as a mandatory thing rather than bypass them, ensuring every testing decision remains transparent, auditable, and under human control. So we have to do the planned task like governance and auditability. We need to do the traceable decision logs, and we have to do the auditable trials aligned to their standards. So that I remember in healthcare HIPAA is there, or manufacturing we have ISO 9001 is there, for banking SOX is there. So likewise, pharmaceutical have some standards as well. So we need to enforce all their policies. All these AI agents operate with predefined guardrails, right? Ensuring they cannot override the complaints, critical test case, or skip mandatory validations. And most of the time, we cannot consider the verification and validation with the human in the loop checkpoints. So it is all critical decisions, right? So we need to work on so many things. We need to prioritize the AI, or we need to identify what is necessary for testing, what is not necessary for testing, and we need to create a workflow. We need to work on escalation, risk mitigation, especially on these particular industries. Yeah, so that is the key takeaway. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks, Venkatesh.
Yeah.
Next is if an SAP or Oracle teams wants to begin adopting Agentic AI, which testing areas typically deliver the quickest wins? Test case generation, regression testing, defect analysis, and impact analysis.
In a software testing lifecycle, starting from planning or the doing the entire roadmap for the testing activities, or creating a test plan or a test strategy, or doing an effort estimation, considering the factors of complexity of those test cases. You need each and everything. So we cannot say the quickest wins with the agentic AI adoption usually come from, I would say, impact analysis only. Okay, so as I have explained earlier, uh, if you are wanted to plan your regression testing life cycles, um, you need to do the impact analysis first, because now, for example, if SAP is going to stop their support, and everybody started moving to S4HANA, and if you wanted to do all the testings with, or if you wanted to do upgrade or migration, all these test cases needs to be go for a particular testing. So when it comes for testing, obviously, instead of doing SPDD or SPDA, we need to do those with impact analysis tools like Tricentric Level Compare and BPCA. Okay, so this will obviously will be the quickest wins, so that you can plan your regression testing. So if you want to plan your regression testing, you need to identify which are all the impacted test cases, and you need to, if you want to say for in a big industry, the manufacturing industry, there are 3,000 test cases, and you wanted to go through manually each and every test cases, which will be having the impact. It is going to be a tedious task. Whereas we have tools which can be automatically identify those impacted objects through business process change analysis, and it can do wonders. So within fraction of seconds, it will give you the trend analysis, which are the most impacted objects, which are the repeated transaction codes, and these are all the dashboard analytics which comes with the trends. And so if you are implying your agentic AI in those areas, obviously you can reduce a lot of effort in terms of utilizing the manual resources, and you can definitely save a lot of time. So I would say impact analysis, which plans for regression testing cycles, are the most quickest things.
Great. That's all for today. And
Right.
so moving on to the next, thank you all thanks, first of all, thanks to our speaker, Mr. Venkat, for valuable insights. And thank you all for joining us and participating throughout today's webinar. And if you would like to explore how ImpactQA can help accelerate your SAP and Oracle testing with Agentic AI, we would be happy to schedule a session. You can contact us at solutions@impactqa.com. I have shared the QR code as well. You just have to scan it and you will be redirected to our meeting window. And we will also be sharing the webinar recording and presentation with you shortly. Thank you once again and have a wonderful day.
Yeah, so just to showcase, this is the QR code, and this is our company portfolio. So let me make it in the presentation mode. Yeah. So thanks a lot, Pooja. So thanks for arranging this webinar, and thanks a lot to all the participants who registered and spent most of the time in this. So thanks a lot. It means a lot for me. Thank you very much, and do support us. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.